Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Yes, good morning and welcome back to the Kop TV for yet another match preview against Arsenal again. Of course, it would be wrong for me to have anyone else on this match preview apart from Mr. Don Robbie. How are we? Good morning to you, mate.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm very well.
Yeah, I bet you are
Very
after
well.
the other night.
Yeah, things went well for us the other night. We're going to talk about that quickly. I mean, I've just been on your channel, so thanks for having me on there. If you're watching, guys, get your comments in, like, subscribe, and if you haven't already, press that bell button. So let's talk briefly, Rob, about Monday night's game, 3-1 to Liverpool. There were there was a lot of incidents within the game that if they went this way or that way, could have had a very different outcome on the game, I admit. But were you expecting more in terms of trying to get a goal at Anfield, or were you quite content with what you saw? Or is it what you expected at all?
No, I was very disappointed in our performance, I have to be honest. I thought that we were too negative, really. We showed Liverpool too much respect in the game. I mean, obviously, you go to Anfield, we've been there in the past and showed no respect and got absolutely battered, right? But there has to be a balance between knowing what you're up against, which is you're up against, the best team in the country, and it's going to be really, really tough. But also having more of a go. And I just felt that, we were too negative. We had two holding midfielders in there, and we never really got the ball to Aubameyang. He's our best player. And, we didn't get the ball to him at all. I think he got one chance right at the end. And yeah, it was just I felt that overall the performance was disappointing, and Liverpool deserved to win the game. They were a much better team. They were constantly throughout the game knocking on the door, and we weren't. Although in the game we had some big chances, man. That chance that fell to Lacazette. He's got. You see, the thing is,
the ref was. Did you see the video of the ref after that?
Yeah.
Let's get the keeper, and the ref jumps up and goes, "Oh."
I know, that was crazy.
He was an Arsenal fan or something, mad.
Well, he weren't an Arsenal fan because he didn't seem to give us much. So he definitely weren't an Arsenal fan, I'll tell you that. Right? Maybe he was jumping up like that. He's thinking, "Oh, that could have leveled off things, and I wouldn't get slated for my earlier decision." But that aside, right? That aside, I just was disappointed in our performance. We've been playing quite well in recent times. I think that was kind of our worst performance in a very long time. We didn't get into the game. We were just, we were too defensive, and we showed, as I said, way too much respect to Liverpool. And as I said, it's marginal gains when you play that way, right? You're going to get one or two chances, and you have to take them. And that chance that fell to Lacazette, he had to take that, and he didn't. And that really did cost us. So yeah, it was a more battling performance than what we put up there over the years. We've gone there over the years, and by half-time the game's over. I felt that we was in the game right up until Jota got that third goal. It was still touch and go. If you're a Liverpool fan, you're still thinking, hey, these guys could catch us on the counter. But we needed to do more in the game.
Yeah, Andy G here says, humble pie, Robbie. Costa says, the big man, Don, welcome. I think this is an Arsenal fan. He says, we should win the next game. Liverpool won't play a strong squad. We'll get onto that in a second. Big up, though, to you, Robbie, also to AGT. Liverpool's pressing was really good. One thing I wanted to touch on, we can talk very briefly about the red card incident. I said on your channel, I think that Mane was lucky to get away with the first foul on Bellerin, where anywhere else on the pitch, Rob, and any other time in the game, you push someone like that when they have control of the ball, it's a yellow card. There's no debating it. If I did that on a pitch, I'd expect a yellow card, and if someone did that to me, I'd be saying to the ref, that was a clear push in the back. He gets away with that one. And then I think that's still in the referee's mind when 3 minutes comes round and he does this to Tierney. Now,
how did he do it? What's
But
that?
it's almost like a dance move, isn't it? It's like, it's like it was. Right, let me slow mo it. Yeah, so he goes like that, hits Tierney, and then it goes up. So it's there, the contact.
I like the way.
It goes up.
I like the way you put a slant on that. That's brilliant, man.
It's like some S Club 7 dancing, but I think the referee knows in his back of his mind, really and truly, that those two incidents added up equals a red card. But I think because the game is so early, it's at Anfield, it's a huge game. The ref maybe has bottled it, and I have to say, potentially Arsenal have definitely got something to complain about there, especially as Man United score.
Yeah, listen. For me, my personal opinion, I thought it was a red card. A straight red.
You mean combined or just that one?
Not combined. Not combined. Yeah. I think Mane, who I really like as a player, he's an excellent player. And I think the fact that Mane's not a guy known for, you know, leaving one-on players and things like that, that's why he's got away with it, right? And also the fact that it's early in the game. And also I do feel that, you know, with all the controversy that's been going on around handballs and referees around the whole weekend, we had all of that, you know, the one at Tottenham and lots of controversy. I feel that the referee's thinking, yeah, I don't want to, we're so early in the game. No, I don't want to send off, you know, Liverpool's main guy, you know. But to me, you see those given. He's even had a little glance before he's done it. And I think, right, had that have been Granit Xhaka, right, he'd have gone, right? Had that have been like any player that's sort of known for those sort of things, he would have gone. And I really do think the referee did bottle it, but that's not what lost us the game. You still got to get on with it once those decisions go against you. But I really do think Liverpool, they got one there. Those you see given all the time. You see less than that given. You see less than that given as a straight red. So to me, that was a red card. But once it's not given, you still got to get on with the game, man. You still got to play. You know, it's still early in the game. It's still 0-0. It's still 11 against 11. We still got to do better in the game, and we didn't. But there were a couple of controversial incidents. For me, the Jota goal. I don't even know what the handball rule is no more. It looked to me like he had a bit of control in that goal with his hand, right?
Not his hand.
I don't. You know, the thing is, right, AGT, I don't know no more, because if it was under the old rules, it's definitely a goal because it's not a deliberate handball.
Agreed.
Under these new rules, when I looked at the rules, it's got like an area that's just sort of beyond here.
Where your Adidas line stops, I think if it's below that, you can give it. I think, actually, where your sleeve stops, I would say.
No, it's not where the sleeve stops. It probably is around about this area, right? And to me, if you look at it, it hits below that. But listen, it's, as I said, we didn't do enough in the game overall. So I'm not even gonna, you know, at the time I was really angry, obviously, because, you know, when you're watching it in real time, you get upset because you're like, come on, referee, we should be. But when you then go away and you look at the game overall, these things happen in football. And we just got to say, you know, it was still 0-0 and the first incident. So, you know, get on with it.
Yeah.
And the second incident is still 2-1. We still got a chance to get in the game, and we'd missed that chance before. So it is what it is, but it wasn't a great performance by us. I was very, very disappointed in our performance.
Yeah, quick comment here from David, who's always on the channel. I don't think it was malicious, but it was a red for me. We got lucky, but we'll take it. Messi gets away with the same or worse in a lot of games simply because of reputation. It's a good point. Hi, Don Robbie, and always hi, AGT. It brushed against it. I mean, people are saying hand. This is your hand. It didn't touch there. It was more like the top of his, inside of his arm, not hand.
If the ball hits you, hit it here. It's not your hand. It's a handball, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. But I think this is where the rules are grey now. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying, right? I think a lot of it is to do with what's gone on at the weekends, right? Beforehand, you know, the Tottenham game, the United game, all these controversial incidents in loads of games, literally every game. Yeah. And, you know, these referees are human. They're seeing all the flack they're getting. And the guys think to themselves, boy, do I want to be the next one in the firing line?
Yeah.
You know, do I want the wrath of Jurgen Klopp?
Oh, no one wants that, mate. he's
even Roy Keane got it from that. So
yeah, Klopp put Keane in his place. One other thing that I think is maybe glossed over is maybe you wouldn't count it as a chance, but there's that ball that Luiz plays right over the top, and Ainsley, it just comes off his shin pad. That was a great chance for Arsenal, I think, to get him behind it. All he had to do was square it to Aubameyang, and that's a goal, really.
Yeah. We didn't do, as I said, it wasn't. I was really disappointed in our performance because we played a lot better than that. And I just couldn't understand the amount of respect that we showed Liverpool. I just felt that we were too defensive. And that's what surprised me, because the way we've been playing recently, I didn't think we would. I thought obviously we'd be a lot more defensive than I knew we'd be defensive, more defensive than normal. But I was just like, nah, we're just too deep, and we moved the ball. I mean, Liverpool pressed really well, but we moved the ball so slowly at the back. Again, that's something that we haven't been doing.
But for me, until Ceballos came on, I mean, I was watching the game with a very close friend of mine, Arsenal fan, until I would say, even before the first half finished, he's like, get Ceballos on. When he came on, there was a moment where, and this is what you had been crying out all game, he drops his shoulder, beats two people, and he's broken the line, and he's there. That's what you needed, and I think you'd be silly not to start Ceballos tomorrow night.
We should have had Ceballos on earlier. And you know, that's what he brings. You know, the other two, they're very defensive midfielders. They get the ball, they play it off sideways. You know what I mean? So it was very easy for Liverpool when you've got when you're playing that sort of system that Arsenal got. I don't think you can have two holding midfielders in there. The other player that I really think we made a big mistake in not playing was Saka. I think he was made for this game. He's the sort of guy, he'll pick the ball up and he can beat two players, take them out of position, and he really does. You know, he's one of the best players assisting in our club, and I think we also made a mistake in not playing him. But it is what it is, man. It's a defeat. It's we just have to learn from it. I hope Mikel Arteta's learned from it, but I've still got a lot of faith in him. I still like Arteta. We didn't get humiliated at Anfield. We were in the game. But we've got to do better in those big games like that. I just felt, and this is where, you know, this is a problem for us at the club. We need more quality players in the team.
But I think as well, no away wins since 2015. That's got to change very soon. I actually tweeted after the game, Rob. I'll try and get it up here.
No away wins?
No away wins against the top six.
Yeah. I think that will change this season. I really do.
It has to. I actually tweeted yesterday, Arteta is still way ahead of Ole, Frank and Jose in terms of slowly getting his team to fight for him. The others have big names but no cohesion. Will take time. But if I was Arsenal, I'd be over the moon with Mikel.
I am. And I think that's a good tweet, because I am over the moon with Mikel Arteta. And I do think he's the real deal. And I do think as we start to get more quality players in, you're going to see a vast improvement in Arsenal. We will be moving back up there.
Yeah.
Like he said after the game, you know, he goes, it takes time. He goes, you know, Liverpool, that team's 5 years in the making.
Yeah. And it's a fair point.
Yeah. This team that we've got is like, you know,
it's
like 6 months in the making. And, you know, he's even some of the players that he brought in, you know, like guys like Pablo Mari and people like that, they've been injured. He's not even been able to have access to those players. So, it's work in progress, but still think we could have done better, though. Even with what we had, we could have done better.
Just one very, very quick point before we look ahead to tomorrow. I was really confused to see Arsenal persist with playing out from the back at goal kicks. I mean, if it doesn't work 7 or 8 times, so this is what happened. Leno gives it to Luiz. Luiz gives it to Tierney. Tierney pumps out the pitch. We win the ball. We attack. That happened time again. Listen, if it doesn't work, or you don't have the players to do it.
It was an annoying thing. I don't know about not having the players to do it, because we've been deploying that for the past
against Liverpool at Anfield, though. That's what I meant.
Since the lockdown. But you know, in a way though, I kind of applaud it, because it's brave.
Yeah.
It didn't work. It didn't work. And yes, you're right. Maybe we should have switched. But he's been doing that in every game. And that's how we beat Man City. That's how we beat Chelsea. That's how we've beaten everybody recently, is by drawing teams on, playing it out from the back. But I just felt that we did it too slowly and we panicked with it. We you know what I mean? I've not really seen that level of panic, but it is how Arteta likes to play that way. And I think sometimes you've got to stick with your philosophy. You've got to be brave. So I'm not against that. If you're up against a team like Liverpool, obviously I thought Liverpool's pressing was excellent, right? So they pressed us into a lot of problems. But sometimes you've got to still persist with that playing out from the back. You've got to trust yourselves. And if you actually look at it, the goal that we got came from us playing out from the back and building up. And that's how we scored our goal. The one that Lacazette missed, it came from that as well. So you look at the times they get caught, but also, you know, if we can refine that and perfect that, it is a very effective weapon. And I wasn't too against it. It was just obviously the execution was not great on it. You're right. We were just panicking and hitting the ball up, and it was just coming back at us all the time.
Ollie Long here says Gabriel has been quarter playing out from the back. Should have started him the other day. I think it was a big shout.
That was again. That was a bit of a, and again, this is what I go back to with personnel, because I just feel that, you know, David Luiz in that system has to play in the middle. Yeah, I think he made a mistake. You know, I mean, he should really have played Gabriel, and then maybe played Tierney, instead of playing Maitland-Niles. But then Maitland-Niles has done well in that position in a few of those big games, so it just didn't work out. But yeah, Gabriel's he's been an excellent signing, and I was really surprised to see him not playing. But, you know.
I think, you know, when you see your centre-backs knocking it about within their own 6-yard box, it definitely does draw on the press. And you could see one pass backwards, Keita's pushing right up against Del Neni, and everyone just closes in. The pitch suddenly becomes a lot smaller, and you just have to get rid of it.
Yeah, but if you beat that press, and that was what Ceballos did when he came. You see, the problem is when the ball was going into the midfield. Now they weren't holding on to it. They were just. But when Ceballos came on, now he was holding on to it, turning, getting other players away, and that's when it really works. But yeah, it was just the execution wasn't the best.
So that was Monday night's game. Now, of course, we've been drawn together again in the League Cup, or the Carabao Cup, or as if Vuj and Poet call it, the Caribbean Cup. That's tomorrow night at Anfield, 7:45 kickoff, or 8 o'clock, I can't remember. Talk to me about this one, Rob. Obviously, the teams are going to be different.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen on the night? There was 10 goals in this tie last season. You were there at Anfield for that. Talk to me about how you see this one, but I'm really interested more than anything to get your predicted 11 for this one, for Arsenal.
Predicted 11, I think Arsenal will be, you know, I don't really expect to see hardly anyone who played on Monday.
Really?
Yeah, because we've got Sheffield United on the weekend. And after losing against Liverpool, I feel that that's a game we have to win just before we go into that international break.
This cup tie now?
Sorry?
Does that Sheffield United game prioritise over?
I think so. I think. Listen, I think Arsenal's priority this season is getting into the top 4.
Yeah.
But I do think. Listen, the team we put out. I've got a predicted 11 here. I'll give it to you. I think it would be a decent team. You know, lots of experience in there, lots of good players in there. So, but there will be a change. I think we'll stick with Leno in goal. We obviously Martinez has gone now. And the guy that we brought in this keeper from Iceland, and I don't think he's not played a game yet, and I don't think he's going to get risked at Anfield. I'd be shocked, right? So I think Leno in goal. I'm hoping that we see Saliba, who again he hasn't started yet. We bought him in for a lot of money. He's only 19. But he's rated very highly. I mean, it's going into the Lions' den if you're going to play Liverpool. But I'm hoping to see Saliba. And then I think it's either going to be Holding or David Luiz. I get the feeling it could be Holding. I reckon he might rest Luiz for that game at the weekend. And then I do think Gabriel now will come into into this game. Gabriel's definitely gonna have to come in, and I expect to see Gabriel. I'm not sure if Cedric, who again he's been injured, if he's fit, I can see him coming in. If not, it'll be Bellerin because I still think we go 3 at the back. So Bellerin as a right wing back. On the left hand side, I think Saka will come in.
Yeah, Saka.
And then the 2 in midfield, probably El Neni and Willock. And then up front, I think Pepe will start, who's very disappointing the other night. He owes us a big game. He did play very well in the second half against Leicester, really started opening them up. So in the last round, Reece Nelson, I reckon, will come in as well. And then down the middle, I think it'd be Eddie Nketiah. And then what I do think he will do is what he did in the last round is he will have like Aubameyang, Lacazette, those sort of guys on the bench. But I don't think he's going to start with any of those guys because that game at the weekend, if we can win that, listen, we win that game and it's like out of possible 12 points at the start of the season, we got 9. That's a great start to the season. So I do feel that's more important. But that team that I've just suggested there is a decent enough team because even the young players that are coming in Nketiah, Nelson, Willock, Saka, these are very experienced, even though they're all very young, all under 20. They're very experienced players. They've played a lot of football for Arsenal. They've played first team football. They've played Europa League games. So it's not like they're not going to, these are going to be big games. The one who does, if he does come in, will be Saliba. It'd be obviously like be the biggest game he would have played in since he's joined. And I think Liverpool, looking at, I saw the last round against Lincoln. Obviously, you guys, your backup team now is looking very strong. I remember when we played you last year, there were a lot of very young kids in there. But
how we won that game, still, I can't.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. But I feel that Liverpool will have a very strong team. So I think that'll be the basis of our team. There may be a surprise there may be, say, some sort of surprise in there but I just don't expect to see people like Aubameyang and Lacazette. You can't, we need those guys for the weekend. We can't be getting none of those injured.
Yeah, I completely understand Lacazette and Aubameyang not playing. I would, if I was Arsenal, I'd want to be a bit more adventurous in the midfield. I think Xhaka and El Neni was so defensive. I'd like to see Willock and maybe Ceballos just to break down. I mean, obviously, I'd want your best players well far away from the first team.
Yeah.
But
it could be Willock and Ceballos, but I just get the feeling that Ceballos against Sheffield United at the weekend, Ceballos is going to start. As I said, that was the negative move I thought by Arteta, where he went El Neni, Xhaka. But I think when it comes down to us playing at home against Sheffield United, in the last game against West Ham, Ceballos started, and I think Ceballos will start at the weekend, and he won't want nothing to happen to him. So, so I think Ceballos may not start because weekend is when we really need him in that game. Could be on the bench, but probably on the bench.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United obviously haven't started well, haven't scored a goal in the Premier League this season. So you're fully expecting Arsenal to win that one.
Have a go.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about the Liverpool lineup, I'm going to go with Adrian, Nico Williams. I think Gomez or Van Dijk will play. At this stage, it's hard to guess the other centre-back. I think Reece Williams only ever played one game for Liverpool, was against Lincoln in the last round. I'd like to see a stronger centre-back partner for the likes of Virgil or Gomez, whoever plays there. So I'm going to go actually with Gomez and Fabinho at centre-back. And then I'm going to go with Tsimikas at left-back. Thought he did really well against Lincoln. In the middle, there's a lot of names to choose from, Robbie. You can go with Milner, you can go with Shaqiri, you could go with Curtis Jones, who I think will definitely start. But I'm going to go with Jones, Milner, and Keita as well is another one that could easily come in. So I'm going to go with them 3. And then I'm going to say Jota, Minamino, and I think Harvey Elliott will start this one. And then the likes of Minamino to come off the bench. Firmino, Salah, Mane might even be thrown in. You look at other players like Origi will probably start, but I still do think, even though that is our second team, I still think that's a really strong team, and that matches most teams' first team.
Yeah, you know the weird thing about AGT, right, is that there's a lot of players we could play right? That would make it even
Yeah.
stronger, right? But there's so much uncertainty around so many players at Arsenal, whether they're going to be staying or, I mean, someone like Socrates, you would say he will play, but he's looking like we're going to sell him. Chambers, I think Chambers is still injured. Mary's injured. Huh?
Forget about how many.
Yeah, he was still there. Remember Torreira, right? Could play, but Torreira's on the verge.
I think.
Sorry?
Torreira scored last season in this.
Yeah. Torreira's on the verge of a move. Yeah. Right. So again, he's not going to be risked. There's a lot of rumors today about Maitland-Niles possibly going to Man United. There is something in that, right? He might not play. Guendouzi could have played, right? Remember, but again, he's been, you know, we're trying to move him out. Özil could play, but he's not in the picture. I mean, so if you throw all those guys in, right, and then of course you got Martinelli, who was brilliant last year. He's injured, so if you was to throw all those in, it'd be a really strong team. Yeah. But so many of those players, Kolasinac as well, he's on the verge of a move to Bayer Leverkusen. So there's so many Arsenal players that could be on their way out of the club that weakens kind of what the backup's going to be, because obviously with the transfer window closing next week Monday, they don't want to risk none of those guys getting injured. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting lineup when it comes around. It's going to be a good indicator, I think, as Arsenal fans, as to who is still going to be there come next week Monday, because there are a lot of sort of players that you know would normally play. If they ain't playing, you can say, nah, he's definitely gone. So going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We think on this channel that it'll be 3-1 again. That's what I'm going for. I think Arsenal do definitely still have the potential to score.
Right. Okay.
But I'm going to go with 3-1 again, Robbie. I was right for the last two games, actually. I predicted Chelsea 2-0 and Arsenal 3-1. Going 3-1 again. Quickly before you
draw penalties.
Does Robbie have a funny feeling? Captain back on our perch here says.
I know, man. I had a funny. The other day, I had a feeling for that game, man. But boy, when we started playing so negatively, man, because I didn't think we were going to play like that. I knew we were going to be obviously more different, but I thought we was a bit too negative. But yeah, I think a draw goes to penalties. We're all right at penalties, man.
Yeah, well, listen, you've beaten us at penalties once this season already in the community field. I personally just think we get this job done as well as we can in normal time and get the win, hopefully. One quick thought here that Thiago brings up, Robbie, wishing Thiago a speedy recovery from COVID. Yeah. I mean, how has this happened, Rob? And how well did maybe Liverpool do to hide that information until after the game as well? Because that's definitely an off-putting, a distraction.
Yeah, it was, you know, get well soon to him. You know, glad he weren't playing. From an Arsenal point of view, excited to see him play because he's a great player. But no, you don't want to hear any player has got that. Obviously, you know what? We've had, our manager was the first sort of big name to get that in Arteta, and it's never nice to, you know, even though, you know, most of the footballers and that have got it have made quite speedy recoveries and they've been asymptomatic.
Wasn't it?
Sorry?
Arteta was one of the first.
Yeah, first person to get it, first high profile person to get it. It is, you know, maybe he got it before he came to Liverpool. I obviously they would have tested all the other players. It's just strange that nobody else has really come into contact with him to get it. That's a good thing. That must show that the whatever sort of stuff they're doing on behind the scenes is working in keeping people you know, apart and or contact and stuff like that. But it's a shame. It's a shame to hear. Wishing him a speedy recovery as well. And you don't want to hear any footballers or anybody has got the COVID. So yeah, no, wishing him a speedy recovery, and that's a real shame.
It seems like Ibrahimovic also has COVID. To be honest, I feel sorry for COVID if it's up against.
That's what he said. That's what Ibrahimovic said, didn't it? He goes, COVID's come to mess with me. They must be mad or something like that. But
bad choice.
Yeah, listen, this COVID thing is real. You know what I mean? We've got to remember that. You know what I mean? It's a real thing, and it doesn't respect anybody. It doesn't matter whether you're Thiago or you're Robbie or AGT. You know what I mean? If you get it, you get it. It's around, you know, and that's why we still have to be really careful with it. And, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who get it. They're not as fit as these footballers and strong and, you know, able to kick it like they are. So let's just hope, you know what, let's just hope and pray we can just get something, whether it be a vaccine or whether the virus starts to die down a bit or something, that we can just get back into grounds. Because I remember the game last year at Anfield, it was brilliant, you know. And I missed that. I missed the other night, you know what I mean? You miss being at the game and that real big game atmosphere. But yeah, let's hope we can get back into ground soon. But get well soon, Thiago.
100%, Mr. Thiago Alcantara. Listen, just before you go, Robbie, I know you got a busy day. Void here has asked the same question 3 times, so I'll answer it. Do I think it was a red card? Well, we answered this at the top of the show. I think the 2 fouls combined.
You know, you didn't answer it. What you did, right, is you skirted around it, come up with this other theory about 2 yellow cards and that. Just say it, man. You know it was a red. You know it was, right? I know you. Yeah, I can see that smile you got on your face right now, right? Yeah, you know it was a red. But listen, it weren't a red. We lost the game. It is what it is, man. Maybe we might get one on Thursday. Who knows?
Let me put it this way: if I'm playing an 11 aside and someone does that, what he did,
you'd be waiting for him after.
I'll be waiting for him after. Business. But what I'm saying is, I would be in the ref's ear. But you know how it is, Rob. If that was the other way around, you'd be more defensive. It's tribal.
Yeah, listen, of course, man. Of course. If it's the other way around, it's never a red.
Exactly. You know that. Yeah. Listen, Rob, you're going to go for a draw and an Arsenal win on penalties. Very hopeful. He's definitely got a funny feeling about this one.
No feelings this time. No funny feelings.
I'm going for a more convincing Liverpool win. I think 3-1 again. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. I'd love to see us progress in this competition. But Robbie and for all, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Got 120 live viewers right now, which is actually the most we've ever had on the Kop TV. So big love to yourself, man.
Yeah, man. Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. And listen, good luck tomorrow. And I'll see you on Monday, where I'm doing some filming with you for the transfer deadline.
Transfer deadline day. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Another super fan debate to lock into. They've been very tasty so far. Groups going at each other.
Oh my god.
Doyle and James in the mix. It's all crazy. But yeah, love it, mate. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care, Rob. There you go then. Robbie the Don from AFTV's got a very busy day, so he's going to get off. I love some comments. I should do phone-ins. I mean, the fan cams essentially are video phone-ins, so get on the video fan cams after every game. Do you think Liverpool should put up a weaker side? No, I'm saying put a stronger side as possible, and we just dominate Arsenal from start to finish. Of course, they've got some players that can hurt us, but I think even with our second team now, it's a match for most first teams. Diego says, well done all. Subscribe to the Kop TV and AFTV for sure. Guys, last night we put out the episode 17 of Top of the Kops with DJ Rusky, big Aston Villa fan, best mates with Jack Grealish. Go and check that out on the channel now. Trying to think what else we got coming up. So obviously we got the game tomorrow. If you'd like to do a fan cam, do let me know, and we can potentially arrange that. So we've got fan cams tomorrow night after the game. Also tomorrow night I'm on the LFC Day Trippers podcast, and then Friday comes round. No videos there. And then Sunday, we have the Aston Villa game at 7:15, a very late kickoff on Sunday. Funnily enough, I saw a graph today, and it said Liverpool get the most points when they play at 5:30 on a Saturday. 2.69 points, apparently. Very interesting if you do want to read into that stuff. We actually play better the later on in the day. So hopefully we don't get many 12:30 kickoffs this season. But hey, there you go. Your match preview with the Don Robbie. He reckons a draw and penalties. I reckon a Liverpool win. We'll have to see. But join us tomorrow night on the fan cams as we discuss this game we're talking about. But until then, take care. And if you haven't already, before you go, just click that old subscribe button and the bell button as well. But in case I don't see you before,